John Harry here with Ain't It Cool. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. John Harry here with AintItCool.com. Just got a showing of Dark Knight Rises. It's the third and final film in Chris Nolan's Batman trilogy, and I have mixed feelings about it. The good things I liked about it: the story, it's really strong. It takes place 8 years after Harvey Dent's death. Batman is now a reviled vigilante. Everyone hates him. Everyone loves Harvey Dent. They celebrate a special Harvey Dent Day every year. Bruce Wayne has become a total recluse, never leaving Wayne Manor. There are rumors that he's a weirdo, like a Howard Hughes type character. So that's pretty interesting to see an older Batman, an older Bruce Wayne here. And then you have Bane. He's the antagonist. He's strong, he's brilliant, and he has no heart. He has a little bit of heart. Just a tiny bit of heart. He does cry a little bit, but for the most part, he's killing people in very cold-blooded ways. One of the things I really liked about the film was the character trajectories. Not all of the characters, especially the main characters, kept a very even path. They were all up and down. You didn't know whether they were good, whether they were bad, what the point of them being in the film was. For instance, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. There are points in the film when you're like, oh, if Christian Bale dies here, he's totally gonna become Batman. And then there are other points where you're like, no, I don't think so. Maybe he could become like a Robin, or yeah, maybe like a sidekick kind of thing. Batman could take him under his wing. And then other times you're like, Christopher Nolan, you're playing a cruel joke on me. He's just a red herring. Someone to throw me off the trail, to mix me up a little bit. Luckily, the film has a very satisfying conclusion where all the major characters meet an end that is very befitting of their story arc. That's probably the thing I liked most about the film, was the conclusion. I felt like Christopher Nolan really tied everything up really well and gave us an ending that, I don't know, I think there's not a lot to hate here as far as the ending of the film goes. I don't want to say too much, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but it's a very satisfying ending, I'll say that. A few things I didn't like about the film: at times it got really over dramatic. It seems like all the main characters here have at least one really long, over dramatic monologue where if they're not crying, they're coming close to tears, they're saying something very, very important and dramatic. And if we don't hear this monologue, we'll never understand how they feel. We get how you feel already. A lot of these monologues, they just kind of bash you over the head with, if not the message, the plot line. And I don't know, some of them I wish had just been edited out. Like, we just didn't need it. Also, some of the action setups were just really strange. Like, at the end of the film, there's two large masses of people who are about to battle. One side is heavily armed, the other side, they have no shot. And when the two sides come together to begin warring, it's like, why aren't you guys shooting each other? Why are you just staring at each other? And the side that's really heavily armed, why aren't you using your guns and your cannons on them? Like, it just didn't really make sense to me, especially in a universe that Christopher Nolan has set up here where things are very real and very grounded. It just didn't make sense. Another thing that didn't quite make sense to me was Bruce Wayne. I really like it when we have older superheroes where we start to see some of their physical limitations, and we get that here with Bruce Wayne. His knees are shot, he's showing a little gray. At the beginning of the film, he's thinner, doesn't get around very well, but when trouble shows up in Gotham, he jumps right back on the bat pod there and springs into action like nothing's happened. And that kind of threw me off. There's some scenes later in the film where he gets the crap beat out of him by all sorts of different people, and he doesn't seem to have any problem recuperating. We see him training, and we see him trying to get back into shape. The dude has no tread left on the tire, but he can still fight like the Batman of old after 8 years without training, with letting his body go to pot. That part didn't quite ring true to me. So overall, it's probably my least favorite of the three films. I really enjoyed the first one. It was interesting to see Bruce Wayne progress from a scrappy young snot-nosed brat into a ninja, into the Batman. In the second one, we had Heath Ledger as the Joker. It was just fascinating to watch. And then this third one, everyone is really depressing here. The bad guys, even when they're winning, don't seem like all that happy. Bruce Wayne is always depressed and upset. Everyone around him is depressed and upset, and they have reason to be. But overall, it just sets this really, really cold, depressing tone throughout the film. But those are just my thoughts. I still liked it. Don't get me wrong. I still liked it, but it's not as strong as the other two. But you can harass me all you want. Leave your comments below and keep checking back in with AintItCool.com for more news and reviews. I'm John Airy.